Back at you today with what will be our longest video to date. We're going to completely disassemble this breaking, rotting, crumbling porch and rebuild it all in one video for you today, guys. We'll also be addressing some wood rot behind, so stay tuned to watch this entire rebuild demo start to finish for the whole porch. As you can see, this porch is becoming apart very easily. Simply using a sledgehammer and a shell bar, we are getting this entire thing out. We are ripping the beginning parts out with just our hands. The porch should never come out this easy, but when it's really rotted and broken down, this is what happens. A lot of the old cement was literally turning back to dust and to sand. All the cinders had crumbled. The reason that happened is moisture got in, freeze and thaw cycles have allowed everything to just break down and pop. Now we do everything now in concrete block to get away from this. Cinder blocks could never handle moisture, but they didn't know that. So they used them up until about the 80s, and this is what happens. Now that we got it completely down, we're gonna excavate 1 to 2 foot below grade even. We're gonna be removing block to get down that low. We're then cleaning everything out with a shovel and digging down even further. The reason we're doing this is we're gonna be building back a dry lay porch, as that was the homeowner wants to match the dry lay retaining walls that go around the property. So once we get it cleaned, we take our blower, we blow everything off. We try to get all the dust off. Then we take our hose and we completely hose off these blocks to clean them. This block is an existing foundation, so we're gonna be able to go on top of it, but we wanna pour a 1 foot thick pad on top, which is actually gonna be 18 inches to 2 foot in the middle that we really got out. We're using our 1/2 inch bars going vertically, horizontally, to carry our new base / footing. This is gonna the rotted rebar reinforcement locks everything in and makes it that much stronger. Our base is made of 4,000 PSI concrete. Next, it's time to address all that wood rot behind the porch. Now, aluminum flashing does not hold up with concrete. It also does not hold up with pressure treated wood. It causes it to oxidize. And this also had a bit of termite damage, which was non-active. They had it treated previously in this part and other parts of the home. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove all the damaged wood. You can see how they ate right through that. You can see right through the wood. So we're going to cut out everything is bad, the sill plates, floor joists, whatever that's in the way. Bottom of the door jamb, we're going to be cutting it out and replacing it all. We start by putting our sill seal back in. We then go with our 2x8 pressure treated to that's 2x6. 2x6 pressure treated to replace the rotted sill. We're then putting our joist back, which is just our outside rim board actually. We're then putting our sheathing over top of that, and we're then sliding in our jamb back under the door, which is 2x8. We're then taking our water and ice shield. This is used in place of aluminum flashing now. It is better, and it does not break down over time. And then we put our piece of AZAC over that, and the AZAC will be our finished look. Next is time to use our conduit. This is our electrical conduit that we're going to be using to screed. We got our delivery of 3/8 stone, which will be our bedding stone. That will be our bedding stone that we set our base in. We buy 3/4 inch electrical conduit. It's steel, and we will use that for screeding. The reason we get 3/4 is outside to outside measures to 1 inch. We then put it all down. We take this 2x4 in this instance, and we screed. We want it perfectly flat, but we want it pitched away from the home. So I don't say perfectly level base. We want a perfectly flat base. We then start with our corners first. We level them to each other. We then check level to the back wall. We do plumb, level, and square. We remove our poles and we fill in with the same 3/8 bedding stone, and we use our mag float and just smooth it out. Again, we want our perfectly flat surface. We always want to make sure that our corners are done first and run in between. You need everything perfect on your base course. Your base course is the basis for the whole build. If you don't get this 100% right, you will not be right above. This is why I'm showing it again. You want to tap it down. You want to hit it in. You want to make sure it's level across. You want it level across, slight pitch to the back. You want the back to be higher. You want the back to be higher so it's higher by the home so it runs water away. Now it's time to get our 3/4 clean delivered. Our 3/4 clean stone will fill every layer. We go in the back of our base with more of the same block, and the reason we're using the same block is these have little cleats in them that lock into each other, and block to block bond is our best bond. Next, we take 3/4 clean and we fill in all the webs of the block as well as the entire first layer behind. We then tamp it and then we wet it. 3/4 clean is used because it's 99% compaction ratio and it's best for drainage. Since this block is going to be entirely dry lay, it's the best for drainage and we need everything to drain. The only thing we're going to be using glue on is going to be corners and any cut pieces. Then once that is in, we fill again. So we're filling every single layer with 3/4 clean, 3/4 clean filling in the layers of the webs that helps lock the block in, and then we fill in behind as well. As you'll see, we made a little bit of a boo-boo. We have all the cuts in the same spot. I will be addressing that and moving that in a couple minutes. First, I'm coursing out, make sure all my block is done, making sure my pieces fit. You'll see that blue water and ice shield on the back of the house. My pieces will run exactly into that. They will not be touching the house. They'll not be touching the wood in any way. That is the barrier that separates them. Now you can see my cut piece has been moved, so my cuts are staggered. Cuts on the right, then the left, then back to the right. Now I am again filling in with more stone. I compact my stone that's filled in 4-inch lifts. Next, it's time to cut my caps. My caps must be cut on corners. You have to manufacture your own corners. These are a Cambridge block. Now we're just fitting out our caps for sizes. Technically, we would always do it with an overhang, but on these particular block, these block are the same size as the block below, so these will have no overhang. These are not meant, these particular one-sided style caps are not meant to have an overhang, so we lay them out, we dry lay everything, and then every single cap must be glued. So the only way these caps will stay is if they're glued. The glue we use is a rapid set glue. It can be used all the way down to conditions where it's like 0 degrees. Next, we get our compactor and we compact the hell out of it because there will be going a paver landing on top. Then we take our hand tamper and we tamp in between what we couldn't reach with the compactor. We get our poles and we're going to be doing our 3/8 inch bedding stone on top of that as well. We're checking to make sure we are level, square, and everything, but we're making sure we have pitch away from the home once again, and that pitch will match the pitch that's on the treads. We add more than is necessary, and we scrape out whatever we don't need after much back and forth screeding and compacting. This is the crucial part, guys. Your beds are crucial on both your building of the porch and the paver landing. Once you get your bed right, you fly. So spend a lot of time on your bed and you'll be able to fly on your pavers. You remove those poles, you fill in with the 3/8 bedding, you take your trowel, smooth it out. Again, the 3/4 clean stone and the 3/8 bedding is all for draining. It's open grade base, which the IMCI now recommends and prefers. Now it's time to lay our pavers. We do not use any 4 corners. We don't use the same pieces next to each other. It's a 3-piece randomized pattern that matches the porch. Now that this is completed, we can sweep in our G2 polymeric sand. We sweep it in thoroughly. We then beat it down. We then go through with a fine-tooth comb and add more, and we leave it so it's 1/8 of an inch below. We then hit it with a shower setting of water for 30 seconds, hose off anything that's left, and here's our finished look. Thanks for watching.